Hello and welcome to the Marketing Mix. I have just got back from Sri Lanka. I am very jet lagged. I've woken up at just gone 4 o'clock for 2 mornings. So this is going to be interesting. Ella might have to carry me on this one. I'm really excited to have Ella with me today. Earlier this year, she came onto the Marketing Mix and we talked a lot about personal brand. And people really enjoyed it and they wanted to see more of Ella. So how could I refuse? So we are going to talk about personal brand today, but we're going to talk more about how small businesses can really put their personality, their stamp on building their personal brand. So what I'm going to do first is ask Ella to introduce herself. And I'd really like to know, Ella, I know the story, but I think people want to know, why did you start your business?
Hello, everybody. Hello, Manal. It's lovely to be here. Thank you for inviting me for a second time. It's really, it's lovely to get a second invite. So, yes, I'm Ella Orr. My business is much more social. I call myself a social media specialist. So I trained in social media marketing, but then I focused on personal brand coaching. And the reason I did that was because I used to be a teacher. I came from a previous career, a long time in that previous career, and I had to learn how to break out of that mold and learn how to promote myself as a social media marketer. And personal branding has really helped me to do that. Hence why it is that I get invited to come and speak on wonderful things like this.
I know, and I've been following your content for a while. We met in real life for the first time at Uplift
Uplift
Live.
Live.
I'm really struggling, and it was like because we'd been connected on LinkedIn for a little while, so it was like meeting a friend, and that I guess is a little bit of personal brand. But like, tell us, like, what is personal brand? Why should we? Why? How do we define it?
Define it, yeah. Well, I know a lot of people find that term personal brand quite icky, a bit uncomfortable. I don't know if it's the personal bit, because obviously that relates to you, the person, you yourself, or it could be the brand bit. And it's like, oh my God, I don't want to think of myself as a brand. It's more about my offers. It's more about what I'm selling and whatever. Excuse me. But the thing is that I always say that personal branding is being seen and known and remembered for what it is that you are offering, so that then when your ideal clients need you, they know where to come and find you. If you're not showing up in whatever way you feel comfortable with showing up, and I say that word comfortable, it's got to be comfortable for you. If you're not showing up in that way that's comfortable for you regularly, consistently, then how on earth are the people that you want to sell to going to find you? And the chances are as well that your competitors will be standing out, and they're much more likely to go to your competitors than come to you for your offers, your services, your products, and so forth.
Yeah, for sure. And that is that, I guess it's that showing up that people find difficult. You just touched on competitors. Are there other reasons why it's important for people to do that, to show up?
I think it's the best way for you to build a loyal following. When people know that you are there, it doesn't. And I think this is the thing that's a bit of a misunderstanding or a bit of a myth about social media. You don't need a huge following. You don't need, tens of thousands of followers or thousands of followers. You just need enough people who are loyal to you. And the more often that they see you online, whether it be posting content, talking about your products, if you can go live, if you can talk about the latest new offer you've got. We've got Black Friday coming up and we've got Christmas and whatever. The more that they see you, the much more and don't forget, people are in a rush. So they're much more likely to go and buy from somebody who they know, they like, they trust, and they follow. And then that's why a personal brand really, really helps. It's them you're giving them an opportunity to get to know you, and also they're much more likely then to ask questions about the products, questions about the delivery, and whatever else it is that they want to ask about. They'll feel comfortable with you, and I think that's really important for the customer to feel comfortable with who they're buying from.
I think that's so. You've nit the nail on the head. Hit the nail on the head.
Yes, we get what you were going to say then, Manal.
Yeah, I mean, it's true though. I mean, we stick with the people that we know that we've bought from regularly.
Yes. Yeah.
It was like just before we came on, I was telling you the issues with my mobile in the shop that I'd taken it to yesterday, and he was just so great.
Yeah.
I came home and I
Mm.
said to my husband, if you need a mobile repair, don't
Yes.
go to any other shop. There's loads in our little town. Go to that one. And it's just that
Mm.
knowing that person. And I first went to him years ago with something else because he'd been recommended to me. So it is that,
Yeah.
that knowledge of who that person is and the trust in them
Yeah.
that really
Exactly.
matters. I can see there are a few people watching live, so if you've got any questions for Ella, pop them in the comments. We will answer them as we go along. So today we're going to talk about personality and injecting your personality into your brand. I think it's particularly important for small businesses because quite a lot of them, like solo business owners, and even if you're a small team, but particularly solo business owners, like you are your business. If somebody comes to
Mm.
me or to you, what we put out in public is what they are expecting to experience when they work
Yeah.
with us. So
Yes.
let's talk about some of the ways that people can add their personality to their brand.
Yeah, I think well, I think personality is very, very important. We are in the age of AI. We are in the age of content being generated by robots. And let's face it, I mean, I know that ChatGPT is everybody's new friend, but the thing is that it's very cold. It's very it just does what it says on the tin. Of course it does, but then it does that for hundreds and thousands and billions of people who type in those particular terms into Chat GPT or whatever AI generator that you are using. So this is why putting your personality, putting your tone of voice. I mean, hopefully, every business should have some kind of branding strategy.
Yeah,
So, branding strategy within that would include not just visuals, not just your colors and your logo and everything else, but also your tone of voice, the
yeah,
way that you talk to your customers. So, if you can incorporate that into your written text, then you're putting your personality into your content, and that's a kind of low bar, really, because everybody should be able to do that. They should be able to talk as themselves on their posts, not talking like the robot, not talking like we see the way that big corporates talk, because we all know
yeah.
that big corporates haven't got any personality.
No,
This is the difference between small businesses dealing with small business owners, where you actually get to the person who
yeah,
provides the service or the goods,
yeah,
as opposed to having to go through however many chains of command before you actually get to speak to somebody who actually does the selling of the product and knows the product.
yeah,
So so you won't get corporate speak when you post as yourself in your text. But then the next thing to do is those visuals. A lot of people worry about posting them pictures of themselves, or videos or whatever, but you can do this in a very subtle way. You don't have to have photographs of yourself full on, full frontal. You don't have to have those. You can have your hand. If you're a product maker, you can have
yeah,
your hands doing something. You could have an over the shoulder photo or whatever. And there's plenty of advice online about, or if you need advice from me and Manal, come and ask us.
yeah,
But there's plenty of advice online about how to take photos without having your face in them, because that's what people worry about. But honestly, if you are a creator of something, a maker of something, or whatever, people want to see the process. That's what they want to see, and the end
yeah.
product. They're not worried about what state
No,
your hair looks, or what you're wearing, or whether or not you're wearing makeup or anything like that, because that's not what they're buying. At the end of the day, you're using your personality to get them to buy what it is that you sell.
yeah,
So this is why I think it's different degrees of personality that you can put into your content. It doesn't have to be the whole, oh my God, I've got to go live or I've got to speak on video to the camera. But if you can get to that point, it'll be even better.
right. So, not a lot of people know this. But when I was employed in the world of being employed, I would never be the person who stood in front of the camera and talked. If I had to get up in front of a room full of people and present, I needed at least 3 weeks to prepare myself.
Yeah.
I really did. And but it's like going to the gym. The more you go to the gym and exercise, the
Exactly.
fitter you get. And that kind of getting in front of the camera and just, I
Yeah.
told myself I
Yeah.
had to get over myself.
Get over yourself. Yeah. Yeah.
But you really have to do that, because realistically, no, you're right. Nobody cares. Nobody cares what you look like. Nobody. I
Yeah.
think as women, we put a lot of pressure on
Oh,
ourselves. We must
exactly.
look perfect in
Exactly.
front of the camera.
Exactly. Yeah.
But they are interested more in what you're doing and why you're doing it, and even whether you sell products or services.
Yeah.
Actually getting to know the person that they are buying from is
Yes.
more important to people. And I think, in terms of just coming back to what you said about corporates, it just put me in mind of why big businesses have characters. So you've got
Mm.
Compare the Market. They've had their meerkats for how many
Yeah.
years?
Yeah.
Because they had to put personality to their
Yeah.
brand. And that's what differentiated themselves from all the other comparison websites when they first came out with that concept.
Yeah.
And now look, like a lot of those comparison websites have followed suit, and they've
Yeah.
done something. They've got, you've got the
Yeah.
Go Compare Man.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
They've had to
Yeah.
create a personality to
Yeah.
make their brands human. But for us, it's so much easier, I think,
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
realistically, we're it.
Yeah, that's it. That's it. And I mean, before we came on the call, Manal was asking me about, was saying to me about the fact that people often feel very self-conscious about, what they're posting about themselves personally, and they're obviously quite rightly, they're worried about sharing, how much to share and all that, and
Yeah.
oversharing and everything else. But the thing is, I say, you do you. You
Yes.
you 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 post what you feel comfortable about posting, and I think that's why what I try to do when I'm helping my clients, for example, is to sort of like find themes, find topics that you feel comfortable with talking about. Some
Yeah.
people talk through their food, they talk through the meals that they prepare, if they're particularly into baking, or
Yeah.
they're particularly into flower arranging or crocheting. My PT, for example, I mean, she did post things of herself, but she's also become known for her crocheting. We picked up a lot of new hobbies, didn't we, and leisure pursuits during lockdown. And now
Crochet.
that's kind
Also.
of, but you can actually, because what you're trying to do is to get your audience to see that you are a human being. And
That's really it.
yeah, that's what cuts through the
Yeah.
noise of everything else that's on social media.
Yeah. And people want to see, like, I feel that with bigger businesses, we expect them to be faceless. So when they
Yeah.
get in celebrities or they create a character or whatever,
Mm.
we're still kind of like, oh yeah, whatever.
Yeah.
But with small businesses, I think they expect to see that the person behind it, the person that's creating the product or the service,
Yeah.
to like really humanize what they're doing. And I actually just saw a post for our local chamber. We've got tomorrow we've got our event to celebrate Small Business Saturday. And it starts, that the meme, when somebody buys from a small business, a person actually does a dance, and it
Yeah.
says, if you want to see this IRL, come along, because there are small businesses selling stuff, and
Yeah.
every time there's people do that, it's like you buy from somebody who you're
Yes,
actually making a material
exactly.
impact to their life. And why
Yeah.
shouldn't you show that? Why
Yeah.
shouldn't you show the good? It's good. I like to focus on the positives, but it is hard running a small business.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
if something has happened and you want to share it, and it's not a positive side, but like
Yeah.
only small business owners understand what it's like to run a small
Yeah.
business, and we can all identify with that.
Yeah, and I was going to also add into that as well, Manal. I think the thing is, you can show the passion for what it is
Yeah.
that you're making or you're selling, you know, or what or how you deliver something. I mean, I try to do that with my when I talk about what I do in my business. I try to show the passion that I have for it. You know, why it is it's important to me. Why it is, you know, what my enthusiasm, my learnings, my failures, my successes, and all that. I put all of that into my content so that people can see that I'm real,
Yeah.
and it makes you relatable
Yeah.
because people know that anybody who's got any sense about them will realize that you'll have had um different prototypes that you'll have tried that will have failed and things like that, but if you
Yeah.
talk about all of that, then they'll then see all the love and the care and the passion that's gone into the finished product, whether it be a tangible product that you're selling, that you've made, or a service that you're offering.
Amazing. Hello, AO.
Oh, hello,
Yes, we
AO.
want to hear people's voices. Absolutely. I love
Yeah,
that. I did that tip. Have a chat with a friend. Just talk and record and transcribe it.
yeah,
I've actually got, so every year I do a survey, mostly to my list, but I do share it on social. And one of the things I ask my list is what they like about receiving my email. And I had a quick look, I think last week, before I lost the use of my phone. And somebody had said, whenever I read your email, I can hear you in my head.
yeah.
And I was like, I hope that's not in a bad way.
No, but that's
But I write that. I write as I speak, and it's quite nice because when I started my business, I knew that I wanted to just simplify everything about marketing for small businesses, because that's
yeah,
not why they started their business. And I wanted to be me. I felt like when I was in corporate life, I wasn't really me. Um,
no,
and to
no.
have someone say that they can actually hear me in their heads, which is a
Yeah,
bit frightening,
yeah,
but it just feels
yeah,
really good.
but
So
that's what you want.
it's a great tip, AO. Paul says, definitely be you. 100%. People do
Yeah,
business with people. So yeah, I think coming out from behind that sort of wall of your business and really sort of showing
yes,
yourself is it's only going
yeah,
to lead to good things. We talked a little bit about, just before we came on, we talked a little bit about people who are perhaps nervous of getting in front of the camera.
yeah.
So like, what could they do to inject some of their personality into their brand?
Um, w- uh, as I say, I think the first thing to do is to sort of just think about what you feel comfortable with.
Mm,
If it comes through more in the words, think about how you're going to think about speaking to one person when you're writing, as if you're in the old-fashioned days we'd have written a letter. Now it's
yes.
more like a text or an email or whatever. But think about, don't think that it's going out there to some vast audience. It's going to that one person. And again, within your business planning, you should have some kind of ideal client avatar or
Yes.
customer persona or whatever. So think about that person that you're speaking to. If you've done all the work and given that person, that persona, a name, and you can actually imagine who it is that you're speaking to, their characteristics and whatever, it's easier then to just think, right, I'm going to write that post as if they are reading it personally, not as if
Yeah.
it's going out to a huge audience. Then, as I say, in terms of visuals, Alan and I were even saying, if you are nervous about putting your face on a selfie, for example, and just to say that, selfie posts do very, very well, and
Mhm.
it's to do with the psychology. You've got to remember, a lot of marketing is based around psychology, and we are, as human beings, we are drawn to people's faces. We are drawn to color. We are drawn to shapes. So if you don't put any of that on your post, and obviously it's harder on Instagram because on Instagram it's the visual platform, but like on LinkedIn,
Yeah.
then people then people are much more, they'll still read your post if they've got to know you, but to introduce yourself, try putting a few selfie photos, or you could create an
Yeah.
avatar. We were saying you could create an avatar now with the tools that there are. You could create avatars on all kinds of platforms, can't you? So you could do something like that, but it's got to be
Yeah.
something that shows that it is you. That it's you who's
Yeah.
regularly speaking to the audience, so that when people see your post on the feed, they're going to more likely to stop and look at it, because they'll go, oh, that's a post from so and so, I know them.
Yeah.
Can I just say
And
something about
always puts
video?
me.
Sorry,
Yeah, go
video
ahead.
now. Yeah, I was
No, I
going
was
to
just gonna,
say,
I was just going to say, it puts me in mind of John with the app.
oh
We've
yeah,
lost
John
sound,
Espirian.
Ella.
Oh, have you? Oh, have you? Oh, goodness
No, we've
me.
lost you.
You've lost me completely. Oh dear. Wait a minute. Let me just have a look. Let me just take this off.
Right.
I'm
Oh,
back.
can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
There we go.
Right, I just unplugged myself
There we
and
go.
plugged in again. Yeah, it reminds me of John Espirian, who's a LinkedIn trainer,
Yeah.
for those people, a very, very well-known LinkedIn trainer. And as I say, it was my his conference, along with Jeremy and Gus's conference as well, that we went to, Manal and I went to in the spring.
Yeah.
But the other thing I was going to say is, with video, we've all come out of our shells a little bit, hopefully, with Zoom, for example, or
Oh.
Teams calls. Have I gone again? Oh, dearie me. Hello.
Oh, we've lost Ella again.
Hello,
I
I'm
hope
back.
people can hear me. Oh,
I'm back.
carry on
I'm
talking.
back. I'll carry on talking. Yeah. So the thing is, think about how you felt a few years ago when you were going on Zoom, or you were going on those Teams calls, and you had your camera off and whatever. It's exactly the same in terms of you being on camera. Oh, now I've lost my now. I'll just carry on talking. So it's exactly the same with you being on camera, when if you speak to your phone. If you can you can create videos in a private mode on Instagram, for example, and post them on a private chat, and you could almost do a sort of like practice video. I can see I'm talking to myself. Oh, it's Manel back. You could do a practice video and share it with just a small group, or so, like, for example, on Instagram you could do that. So I would get, it's a bit like we were saying earlier, if you can practice with friends, find one or two other business owners that it could be through a network that you're in, or sort of just people who and learn together. That's the easiest way to practice, because honestly, it's as Manal says, the more that you do it, it just becomes a habit. And before you know it, you'll be going to events, clicking on live, and you'll be away. You'll just be talking, and you won't be thinking, oh my word, this is being broadcast to whoever it is. And also, the other thing I need to dispel is a myth about the fact it's going to be broadcast to thousands and thousands of people. Believe me, a lot of the time there's only about 10 people watching.
10 of your closest friends.
10 of your closest friends. So yeah, I think there are ways that incrementally you can increase how visible you want to be. But start off just with doing a small video within a small group, or if you're in a Facebook group or something like that, with trusted people. That is the best. And honestly, believe me, they'll give you really good feedback. They won't knock you, they won't criticize you, they'll do everything to encourage you, which is what you want.
And I think to me, that's the most brilliant thing about being a small business owner, is that other small businesses are so supportive.
Yes.
They're not going to, like you said, knock you. They're gonna, lift you and help you, and sometimes guide you. So really trust those people, because they're the ones who know what it's like being in your position. And especially if you can talk to someone who's kind of a little bit ahead of you and benefit from their wisdom. And I wish I'd had that when I started my business, because I just didn't want to get in front of a camera. And my first live was well, I went to an awards thing, and my first live was me panning the camera around the place where the awards were held, talking to other people, but I didn't get on the camera.
Oh, really?
People could hear me, but they
Yeah.
couldn't see me.
Yeah.
And that's what, and like you said, do what's comfortable for you. So that was comfortable for me at the time. But now I just, people say, oh, can you just say a few words to camera? I go, yeah, okay.
Yeah, all right.
And it does get easier to take
Yeah.
it from someone who knows and someone who was really not keen to do
Yeah.
any of that stuff. It does get easier.
Yeah, definitely.
But I love your idea of, like, you know, get in a Facebook group where, because there's loads out there for small business owners, and if you
Yeah.
ask people to you know, give you critique or give you some advice, they always do. Small businesses will always be there
Yeah.
with, you know,
Yeah.
words of wisdom and words of support, which is why I love them so much.
It's a very special community.
Really, it is really, and you can see that. I mean, even whichever social network you use, if you're in those groups, you can see people supporting other people. So it definitely is a brilliant community. Ella, we're almost out of time, and I'm sorry for the technical problems. I feel like my webcam is also having jet lag, and I didn't take it with me.
We're glad that you had a lovely time, Manal. Honestly, you deserve it. 10 years of fantastic marriage is lovely.
Oh yeah, he's you know, he's all right. But just on that, because we were talking about that before we came on, because I made a conscious effort not to spend a lot of time on LinkedIn while I was away.
Yeah.
But I did want to post something, because not a lot of people know that my husband actually encouraged me to do this.
Yeah.
And it was, you know, it was nearly 2 years after, a year and a half after we got married. And we were actually moving we were buying this house.
Yeah.
And what with one thing and another, it got delayed, and we had to extend our mortgage offer. And a week after we did that, I got made redundant, which was really scary. But he encouraged me to start doing this. So I felt like I had to commemorate it in some way, like, because he's always, and like I said in the post, he's there to help me celebrate, but he's also there to pick me up when I need it. Yeah. And that's, you know, we all need someone like that in our lives. And if you've got someone, great, but if you haven't, lean on the small business community, because honestly, you will find people to help you. I'm going to say thank you, Ella, before my technical problems persist. If you are watching, please do go and check out Ella's website. I'm just going to pop it into the comments. She is a wonderful lady to know.
Thank you.
And you're welcome. I wouldn't have said it if I didn't mean it. But she's also got tons of great advice. So please do go check out Ella's website. And if you don't get the marketing morsel, which is my weekly email, which is where I've copied and pasted over it. I'm so bad. Sign up for the marketing morsel. The link is on the featured section of my LinkedIn profile.
Yay!
I've learned from people like Ella and John to add stuff there. So do join that. And I talk a lot about email marketing for small businesses, particularly small service businesses. I'm going to be back in 2 weeks' time. It's the last one of this year. And I'm going to be talking to a lady called Francesca, who built a really successful business called Stamptastic, and she's recently sold it. But I'm going to be talking about her experience of building a business and then exiting. So join us in 2 weeks' time. I will pop up an event on LinkedIn and invite people. But if you're not connected to me, please connect or watch out for that event. And you can catch this if you missed anything and you want to really laugh at my technical ineptitude today. You can catch up on the recording both on LinkedIn and on YouTube. It just leaves me to say thank you so much, Ella. This is great. So much great information, really good tips. And I know that people will be relieved to hear that you don't always have to be in front of the camera. No. You can just show your hands and your shoulders.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So thank you so much. And people, I will see you in 2 weeks' time for the last marketing mix of the year. Take care. Bye.
Thanks very much. Bye.